Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to continue our journey moving on to episode 3 of Fallout.
Hadouken!
I hope you guys have been enjoying the trek going through this show in a sort of book club style format so we can prime ourselves for season 2. As a little upkeep, episode 2 was all about our target, and I gotta say I love the episode, but jumping the gun just a bit, after watching episode 3, I wish they'd switched around the pacing between episode 2 and 3, but we can talk more about that in full at the end. Last episode, like I said, was all about our boy, Siggy Smalls. And while you might have believed that his importance was about the knowledge he might have possessed, his importance was tied to the cargo he was actually carrying with the chip, or whatever that thing he inserted in himself in the beginning of the episode. Yeah, whatever that is. Jumping into episode 3, we got to spend more time with our main man, the Ghoul, in the pre-Kaboom times. This scene is fun and all. We do get an actual name for our Ghoul friend, that being Cooper Howard. I like this scene, laying some very intentional irony the way Cooper's debating the morality of the character he's playing when we see how far his morality actually sinks after the bombs have dropped.
They already know you're a good man. They want to see that even a good man as yourself can be driven too far.
I understand that, but that's
sometimes.
not really my thing.
But it's lunchtime, everybody, and our boy Cooper is eaten. The chemistry between these actors is extremely well acted. This really lays a sympathy on thick of what the Ghouls actually lost and what losing something like a family can do to a very kind man. Back with our Ghoul proper, our friend may have hunted down the remnants of the body with CX-404, but now we are on track to find the rest. With the Ghoul on his way, we can ping on over to the destination in question with Lucy. Lucy's been continuing her trek, making her way to Moldaver with the severed head of Siggy Carl. This reminds me of a very particular Batman comic where he's carrying around the severed head of the Joker. There isn't any importance to that statement, it's just kind of what I thought of. Any importance here and through the rest of the episode is anything directly done to Lucy to affect her mental state. Between her actually severing the head of Siggy and carrying it around is likely going to be just a drop in the bucket. But time stops for no man, or woman. I'll be honest, I'm not jazzed at how casually she's handling this severed head, but actually a 5-head move putting a tracer on him. With the remnants of our night, Lucy's wondering about our not so mysterious man, Max. Speaking of Max, we pick up with him working on some repairs of the damaged power armor from his encounter with the Ghoul. Pretty much this scene is meant to cause a little bit of a drama element because Max missed his check-in because he likely didn't know there was one. Remember, Max finished off Titus to take his place, artificially climbing his way through the ranks. So he's not going to know the code of conduct when it comes to things like checking in or any official business. And because of that, and there was a slip up from Max saying that his squire died, the Brotherhood is looking to send him a replacement. And with our time with Max, there's actually quite a bit going on here. We already set up some potential drama with a new squire on the way, a little comedy in the pursuit of fixing his suit, and we follow it up immediately with some action. While Max was fixing up his suit, he did have to leave it unattended to get a part worked on, and because Max was trying to fix it up, we found some people trying to take the suit for themselves. The fun here is the contrast between this action scene and the last. In our fight with Max wearing the power armor and the Ghoul, it was a very clean display of effectiveness from the Ghoul, but in this one, it's very scrappy. And like I said prior, Max is not the most capable character, but he is resourceful and cutthroat. I hope we can look back on this scene as a mark of Max's progress, and we can see him evolve more fully into someone that can really hold their own with or without the suit. I mean, obviously he gets the job done here, but you know what I mean. But this shit is fucking gruesome, man, and I love it. With that said, I don't know why this guy would stop wailing on Max. Like, you literally had him. But of course, I want our boy to live, and we gotta keep things moving and grooving. Cause just as quickly as the order was given for a replacement squire, the squire's deployed and he's here. And with our new squire, we get a familiar face. Max's new squire is Thaddeus, one of the people that was all for pouncing on him back at the boot camp, or whatever we want to call it. Our new man on the block, Thaddeus, drops a little nugget of information as to the scope of what this all means, and it's that the information that the target is holding is potentially powerful enough or important enough to control the wasteland. This show bounces around so much, god damn. Alright, we're back with Lucy. And like I said, man, the harshness of the desert landscape in a majority of these shots really makes any places with actual greenery really stand out, and I love it. How come little Bambi here ain't got like 3 eyes? And what the fuck is that? Naturally, things couldn't have been so smooth on Lucy's side forever, because the monster from the Black Lagoon stole the ever important head. I mean, how the fuck does something like this happen? Of fucking course it would steal the head, and man, I thought my luck was bad, because our paths intersect between Lucy and the ghoul. As we see, our time in this episode between the ghoul and Lucy is to accentuate the brutality of the ghoul and be another drop in the bucket in the attempts to destroy Lucy's mental state over the course of this show. Which, as unfortunate as it is, this is one of the parts of the show I'm the most interested in, throwing this upstanding citizen type of character into the fray and showing them all the harsh truths of our current reality, and seeing what comes out of them on the other side. Just in case you were feeling a little homesick, we can take a quick pit stop in back at the vault. Within the scene, we're seeing the repercussions, because I'm trying to avoid saying the word fallout, of the events leading to Lucy's embargo. Both Norm and Captain Cousin Levin are getting their duties reassigned. Cousin Levin is taking things pretty hard, but Norm out here standing on business. It's really easy to get behind our band of characters that we directly follow, and it's really hard to say that you wouldn't do the exact same thing in their shoes. But the concerns of the remaining council are actually valid for self-preservation. It's this delicate dance around the power balance and or imbalance here that I really like. And Norm's question really lands home around punishing people that break the rules even in one's own community, but the contrast on how they want to re-educate the people who murder their close friends and or loved ones.
I'm just glad to hear that we punish people down here for breaking the rules. Is that just for vault dwellers or for people who come down here and murder vault dwellers?
But maybe Norm said too much, cause they end up putting him with the very same murders he was complaining about. Yeah, more jumping. I feel completely at odds when it comes to watching and or writing about this show with how much jumping around we do. I love it in the moment when watching the show, but goddamn, I can only segue so well. Moving on back with Max and Thaddeus. Max is hazing the fuck out of Thaddeus. This is obviously payback for his treatment back on base. We do get an important beat with Max briefing, I'm just gonna call him Thad, on what has happened up until this point, mentioning that the ghoul got away from him, and Thad mentions how that's actually a good thing because of the radiation trail that ghouls leave. So right now, Max and Thad have a beeline to the target, but it ends up being more like a sea line, because they initially end up at the body of Siggy Smalls, which I gotta say, Max susses out the lack of importance of said body pretty quick, and they move on back to said beeline with the tracks that the ghoul and CX-404 left behind. Big shouts out to Max, because it doesn't have him be represented as this like bumbling, just happen to stumble into lucky situations type of character, and it just reinforces the fact that he is very capable in his own ways. Even though it was a small scene and a small segment, it was a good segment. I'm happy it was there. And we're back on over by Lucy and the ghoul, and let me just say, there's no better time than some good old fishing with friends, right? God, man, every fucking scene with the ghoul just absolutely makes my day. Obviously, I can't play the full scene because of copyright being a real son of a bitch, but having the ghoul monologue about torture is the best shit.
Why are you doing this?
Well, I ain't torturing you, sweetheart. I'm using you as bait.
I also really like the way this creature looks. I don't know what it is, but it looks like this super mutated lizard, and I love it. I'm a big fan. I'm actually pretty impressed how well Lucy works as bait for this weird lizard creature thing. Regardless, between the ghoul, Lucy, and CX-404, they do manage to shoo away the super lizard. But in that little kerfuffle, the ghoul lost his precious supply of radiation. For those that don't know, a ghoul needs a constant supply of radiation to keep himself alive and maintain his unique mutation. Ever the good girl, Lucy's trying to cater to any kind of heartstrings the ghoul may have, but he's got other plans. Never lasts long, does it?
That's what she said.
Over with these metal-loving fucks. Between Max and Thaddeus, this is as close to a heart-to-heart as we're going to likely get for the foreseeable future. And this is a weirdly vulnerable moment, so this could potentially be the start to turning around of the general nature of their relationship.
I realize that people die all the time. It's the law of the wasteland, so who cares, right? But still, I feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
It's like you said, it's the law of the wasteland.
I hope you didn't get comfortable, cause god fucking shit. We're back with the Vault actually discussing the nature of this fucking bullshit on how to actually handle the raiders. The ideals of rehabilitation is not sitting well among the populace, but they do happen to be eating up this ego stroking bullshit as long as they believe they're doing the right thing. Norma is the only fucking real one out here.
We can do what they would have done to us. Wow. Jeez Louise, Norma.
But among their talks on what to do about the raiders and potentially rehabilitating them, they get delivered some not so amazing news about the water chip being destroyed, putting their Vault supply of water at a hard 2 months, and it's mentioned that this isn't accounting for the prisoners. This scene is starting sowing the lines of justification that is common with characters like Superman, justifying one death as a sort of greater good, but after the first one, it becomes easier to justify more. I like it because it's so easy to get on board in circumstances like these, but that's just how it starts. Now, even on the back of the meeting being adjourned, it feels like every fiber of stability that the Vault has is crumbling, especially at the pitch of the supposed right thing that Blinky McEyestabs is throwing at Norm, with her more or less agreeing with what he'd said about killing the raiders earlier. And we're back with Max. Our Clank 11 friends might have been on the back of a trail, but it sure as hell didn't seem to be the right trail. We got the dynamic dumbasses fending off this little hungry hippo, and I can't lie, I got a little chuckle out of this scene, but I also damn near barfed myself. And while Max and Thad might not have been on the right trail, actually, fortune smiles upon these boys because the target has been secured. It's weirdly hard not to root for these guys. I mean, it's in the name, right? Brotherhood. It's hard not to get behind any potential camaraderie that might happen because these guys celebrate the exact same way that I would in happy times. We're back rocking with Lucy and the Ghoul getting our steps in, and listen, I know I'm a sicko. I don't know, she kind of looks fine all tattered up like this. I don't understand. I know I'm the weirdo, but I do feel bad for the poor girl because every interaction she's had with the outside world is beating her up. And just like the way we started the episode, we're in flashback territory with Cooper, aka the Ghoul, doing some advertising work for Vault-Tec. We end the photo shoot and this episode with the supposed iconic thumbs up from the good old Ghoulper, thus ending episode 3 of Fallout. As ever, man, I really enjoyed this show so far. We might very well end up doing this kind of thing with other shows in the future too, which is good because I'm really bad at watching shows, and this is more or less keeping me honest. With that said though, I have no idea what I'll do for footage because, I mean, this works out well. It's a show based on a series of games, so I can just simply play one of the games in the background. The pacing of these episodes are great when watching them. The show is as close as you can get to being TikTok coded for the modern era, making sure we don't linger too long on any one set of characters. But for me, I actually want to spend more consecutive time with part of our cast, especially when doing the writing for these videos, because it makes you really notice how much bouncing around is actually going on. Although it's pretty cool seeing things being slowly unsettled back at home in the vaults, it does make me wonder where this is ultimately going to lead. Maybe some type of authoritarian style of living, I don't really know. For me, that's how things feel like they're going to be changing in the direction of the vaults. And it's going to be interesting to see when Lucy actually does get back and she won't be able to recognize the place that she once called home. But just as likely, they won't be able to recognize the person that she's turned into as well. My only mark of criticism is I would have preferred the pacing of this episode and episode 2 be flipped. I wish we'd spent more time building in episode 2 and got a big action set piece in this episode. Giving things like that more time to build up with these encounters and make them even more hype. Obviously, we're going to cross paths again. It's inevitable. I just hope we didn't blow our load too soon here, but I guess we'll have to find out next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying the book club style videos. Obviously, episode 4 is on the deck, but it's possible there might be a Dark Souls video that comes out before then. I'm not really sure. Regardless, stay tuned, do all the YouTube stuff if you like your time here, and I'll see you in the next one.